Welcome to the Learning on the Fly podcast. I am your host, Tyler, along with our other host, Jesus. He is here in the bottom right corner. We are having two featured guests today. One of them, the top right corner. You can introduce yourself. That's
What's
you,
up,
Andrew.
everybody? I'm Andrew. I'm Tyler's older brother.
Yes, he is my older brother. That's my boy. Andrew,
Let's
what's
give him
your
a
favorite?
let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Thank
I'm gonna get some claps going when I figure that out later on. Get that on. Andrew, what's your favorite basketball team? Because today we're covering the NBA.
Yeah. So my favorite basketball team is, unfortunately, the Orlando Magic.
Oh, this is a good
Uh,
question.
The Orlando
so
Magic. How long have you been a Magic fan? Roughly.
since we moved here, so like 2001.
Yeah, so he's went through the struggle, being a Magic fan. He's seen,
Yep, pretty much.
he's seen the lows, he's seen the highs. He's been through it
Yeah,
I have
all.
a, I have, I have
we
a question. I have a question.
yeah.
Of
Since
course.
apparently I go right off the bat. Since everybody apparently calls the team as, what made you what made you like the team? I mean, since you guys moved
So
here.
yeah, so we moved here from actually Detroit, or not Detroit, but like right outside Detroit, Michigan, and I was a Pistons fan when we lived there. Um, and then Grant Hill was our best player, and the Magic traded for Grant Hill like a couple months before we moved down here. So Grant Hill was my favorite player, so I like followed that, and then then I became a Magic fan when we moved down here. I didn't really go to too many NBA games before when we lived in Michigan, but we started going a lot more here, and I just got older and became a fan of the Magic.
Alright, cool, cool.
Okay, now our other guest today is my friend Caesar. I've been friends with him for I think about 7 years
What's
from high
up, my
school.
boy? Yes,
That is
sir.
that's Caesar in the bottom left corner. Caesar, introduce
Thank you for
yourself.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Well, yeah, me and Tyler, met on Xbox. We actually went to DP together. Very, very, very
Oh,
cool dude.
DP on the DP in the house.
Yes, sir.
DP,
Yes,
baby.
sir. But yeah, like we played 2K for a very, very long time. We're obviously the best players you know, on a little
Facts. Other than
squad.
a podcaster, I'm a pretty solid 2K player. I could say that.
Not just 2K. He's probably I'm gonna give him his props. He's probably the best Call of Duty player that I've ever seen. Like that I
Oh
but
shit.
personally that I met that I know Tyler's definitely like up there. He definitely good at video games for real. I'd say I'm an all San Francisco team, so I like the Warriors and I like the Niners. Um, I don't care what nobody says. I've been a fan since 2012. It was because the game that Steph went off against the Magic. Before then, I was like, I'm not the Magic. I'm sorry, against the Knicks.
Oh, okay.
He
I
when
was
he
like, of
dropped yeah
course.
when he dropped 52 in the Garden. Um, yeah. So before then, I was just a Kobe fan. But then yep, started watching the Warriors ever since. I've taken a lot of heat from like 2016 from these two up here took a lot of heat, but we here standing. Appreciate y'all for having me. Let's get this going, man.
I
Yeah,
will say, I'll start off
cool.
where he just talked about being a Warriors fan. I remember the first time that me and him, we've had a lot of NBA debates over the years. They've kind of calmed down more. I feel as we both got older, we definitely matured. We don't go as hard in the debate as we used to be.
No,
Um,
definitely.
but back then, we were all in a group chat once, and he came in. And it was the Thunder series, Warriors Thunder, the first one. I think it was 2015. No, it was 2016.
Yeah, 2016.
2016, the Warriors Thunder, where the Thunder were up 3-2, and Klay Thompson had Game six, Klay Thompson, and this man came in the
Oh
party running
man.
his trap, dude. This man, I think Klay had like 40 or 30 or some shit like that game. He went he was taking off,
To
and
to be fair, the only reason why I did that is because we had like this was when everybody was deep like watching the games together, and we had like seven people just talking shit on the Warriors. Like there was not a single person cheering for the Warriors. Everybody was cheering for the Thunder. Everybody was like praying for our downfall. So yeah, I had to run my mouth, but then we choked the 3-1 lead in the finals, and I had to hear that for like 3 years.
Still have to hear
So.
that.
that's never you're never gonna live that down, bro.
Well,
It's never gonna
I feel like it's calmed down because we won a ring without Kevin Durant.
True.
That's true. That definitely helps. That helps. You
But
guys got that win
yeah,
championship after that.
that's
Okay,
definitely the one flow.
so couple things today. We'll talk first about. I just finished watching the Heat Celtics game. I don't think any of you guys were watching that. Jesus was actually watching that with me, so he's the only other one that can really talk about what went on in the game. Um, I'm a Heat, homer here, and I'm not going to be talking too much about them because I don't want to do that. I could talk an hour about them, but I'll just cover up the game. This is the second game this week against the Celtics that we played. The first one we did not have Jimmy Butler, who is obviously our best player. So this second game, he came back. He looked pretty healthy. Yeah, he was out 7 or 8 games with a knee issue, and he finished the game with 25 and 15, which is a pretty solid performance in his first game back.
Wait,
Um,
that means that he had, wait, how many points he had? 25?
he had 25 points and 15 rebounds. Yeah, which is for 25 points is that's pretty average. That's not anything insane. 25 points is good for a first game back. It's a solid game. 15 rebounds for anyone who's not a center is always a lot, in my opinion. A center or power forward. He's a small forward, so that's a lot of rebounds also. Um, the biggest thing that game I took away was Jason Tatum, who I think right now is arguably the MVP of the league so far. We're about 23 games into the season. He's averaging, I think, about 32 points a game. He had going into the game, they were the Boston Celtics are the first seed in the East, and they're the best team in the league, statistics and numbers wise. Um, he is the MVP so far for a reason. And he shot, I believe he shot. He had 14 points. He went 5-18. So he definitely had a struggled game. Obviously, Jimmy Butler had an impact on that. The reason why he struggled. Um, but what I've seen in the previous Heat games against them is either Jason Tatum is the one that struggles or Jaylen Brown struggles. They don't really do too well at the same time against us because we throw out our best perimeter players on them, guarding them. So one of them usually struggles while the other one does really good. Which is, yes, last game, Jason Tatum had 49 against us. Jaylen Brown had a decent, solid game. But um, tonight it was all Jaylen Brown. He had 37. He hit the half court shot to tie the game going into overtime. Um, so it was a pretty good game. It was a good game for us. I thought it was overall good game by all the whole team. The bench struggled, but the four best players on our team produced, and we came out with the win. So I'm happy about it. Um, talking about Jason Tatum, I think, like I said, he's the MVP so far of the season. Do you guys have any opinion on that?
So, and you go ahead, man.
I just think, Tatum right now is probably the MVP. Their record is the best in the league. I think they're like one game up on the Bucks still, even though they both lost tonight. So, and I think he's playing the best. I think it's going to come down to between him and Luka this year. I mean, Steph has a chance. He's been hooping. But we'll see. I mean, if he keeps it up and they start playing a lot better as a team, I could see him for sure like jumping in there. I mean, Giannis, of course, but Giannis is running into the LeBron factor of things, in my opinion, where you have him be the best person in the league for 4 or 5 years in a row, and people kind of diminish what he does because they're so used to it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you put him in a random year and don't have a string like that, he's winning MVP. But I definitely think that they're kind of stale on him. So, I think Tatum. It's Tatum's right now again with the factor of the record and how he's playing. But I think it comes down to 3 or 4 people. At the end of the season, obviously health is a matter too.
As much as it pains me, man, I gotta agree. It is Tatum, just because of the simple fact that the MVP award is a narrative award, which fits the best story. So
Yeah.
now Tatum struggled in the finals against us, So now he's like on his revenge tour, and he
Mhm.
has something to prove. He's never won it before. He's 19 years old. Um, That's like joke that they had for like years.
Yeah, literally.
But Giannis, Steph, LeBron, all these players that are like playing at elite level, they don't fit the narrative because like they do this all the time. Like Steph is averaging 32 points, shooting 50%, 40 and 90. That's like it's so hard. I think about like 5 players have done that, and Steph's like one of them that has done it. So this would be like his second time doing it. But since we're used to it, yeah, it's a narrative award, because it's the media votes for it, and they always give it to and most of the time they give it to the person with the best record on the team, even though the Celtics are pretty stacked. Um, but yeah, I would say Tatum, even though I think Steph having a better year.
And that's another thing too, is because with the Celtics, like we said, they have the best record so far in the league. And in going, I think it was like about 2 weeks before the season started, they had the whole Ime Udoka bullshit going on, where he got caught, whatever that whole situation was, where he got suspended for the whole season. And then you make a interim coach change, which I'm pretty sure he was the assistant coach at the time, who's the new coach. I don't know the name off the top of my head. Um, he literally
Very
looks
good
like Ime
coach.
Udoka. I'm not even gonna lie. They look kind of similar.
Yeah, they look,
They look very similar.
they look like they could be related for sure, cousins
Yeah,
or something.
but you could tell like the transition. I'm not taking away from this new interim coach, but you could tell that the chemistry of the team coming off the loss in the finals against Golden State, that they came out in a revengeful mindset. Tatum's having an MVP season so far. Jaylen Brown is playing more consistent, and that was always my thing with Jason Tatum. And I've told you too before that, is that Jason Tatum. I thought Jaylen Brown was better like last year against us because he was the most consistent one against the Heat. And then through the first 3 rounds, he was the most consistent one. Um, but I was just saying that my opinion on Tatum is if he hits the consistency, if he's giving you the 48, 49% shooting every single game, then he's by far the better player.
Yeah,
That was my biggest thing, is that he just needed the consistency. Because if you drop at 30 points and in the next game you go, 12, 14 points and you're shooting 5 at 23, like that's what, you got to be the consistent player to reach the highest level. And he's doing that so far. He had a bad game tonight, but he's literally still averaging, I think, over 30 points. So,
yeah,
not taking anything away from him. I watched him the game before, like I said, dropped 49 points. And I literally put on the Instagram that every time he hit a shot, I wanted to throw my fucking chair out the window, which was the truth. I did.
yeah.
I was ready to throw everything in my room out the window because this man was scoring on the entire team.
So,
So, the Celtics, what were we saying?
I wanted to say like well, in that series, I think it was because like you guys just mainly focused like your whole game plan, defensive game plan was get Tatum like off his rhythm.
Yeah.
Like especially when you have to see either Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo, or you guys had PJ Tucker last year, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so like when you're going off screens, you're either switching from Jimmy Butler to PJ Tucker or vice versa, like, and then you have to see Bam Adebayo in the paint.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing. Like the Heat is like mainly focused on defense, and I can't take that away. Like y'all had some like defensive anchors, and I think the main focus it was like the Nets series, how the Celtics did their whole game plan around Kevin Durant. So I feel like Tatum, that's what the Heat focus on. Obviously it didn't work because the Celtics, ended up moving
Yeah.
on.
Ended up winning. Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like Tatum just has to like he probably had to mature a little bit and like understand like that he's gonna be the main focus and he has to learn how to get in his rhythm. But definitely, I see him take a different step this year. He's different.
The thing that's crazy is if you think about it, Tyler brought up a good point about the whole coaching situation, and then you don't have a leader coach to like kind of talk you through the off season and everything like that, and kind of like start you off the season. So the leadership on the team definitely matured. So you have to think about like who is the true leader of the team, and I think it's got to be Tatum at this point because he, might not be necessarily the vocal leader. He could be, but he definitely went out there and proved that he was, going to be better in his side, and his game is going to be more consistent.
So I think that the Celtics, like, you have so many leaders on that team. Like, it could be Marcus Smart one game, it could be Jalen Brown another game, Al Horford because he's a veteran, and
Yeah.
obviously Jason Tatum. So it's like, I mean, they have a lot of savvy veterans,
hmm
which,
But I think that's what helped them, go
yeah,
through that transition. A lot of teams aren't going to be able to go through losing their head coach 2 weeks before the season starts and, have the best record in the league. You know,
yeah, I
veteran
think,
leadership and the leadership of the team as a whole, chemistry as a team as a whole. Tyler brought that up too. You know, coming off a loss, you know,
and then with the adding Malcolm Brogdon on the team,
A
huge get, huge get, bro.
fire underrated pickup, dude. I saw
dude.
he's always, I think, from like maybe the last 2 seasons on the Bucks, he's always been consistent. He gives you like the same thing every single game. He could give you 20, he could give you 15. He's always around that range. But he's just a solid player. He's a big point guard. He's solid. He can play great defense. He could play make. He could do anything.
And
And
he can shoot too.
having him with the veteran, because he's a veteran now. He's been in the league for I think about 6 or 7 seasons. He's a veteran now. So having him
Yeah,
off the bench, coming off the bench as a six man for the Celtics team, who lost to you guys in 6 games, that's a big pickup. That's a big pickup, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they had to rely too much on when
Brown or
Tatum and
Tatum going
Brown
back and
were not
forth.
on
Yeah.
the floor. It was like a Derek White, Grant Williams show, and it's like,
And
bro,
Al Horford game
and
one where
Al
he hit like
Horford.
fucking seven
oh
threes.
my god,
Dude,
Yeah,
bro.
having
That
someone off the bench that can score is so, especially in those like minutes where you're not playing well, or the minutes where the stars are off the court. Huge get.
yeah.
I agree.
And then again with the Celtics, I was, one thing that I saw throughout last series, like last playoffs with us against them, I think that the games that we won, as much as it's gonna hurt me to say this, the games that we won, I felt like we won because they beat themselves. Because in my opinion, the talent on our team compared to their team is completely there's a big difference. Now, Jimmy Butler is good and Bam Adebayo is good. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown and like Marcus Smart as like a whole team, they're better than we are.
100%.
Like when they're on their A game, they're better than we are. And as a Heat fan, being a rival of the Celtics, I don't want to admit that, but I'm being 100% honest that they are better than us. We have to be. You had to see Jimmy dropping 30 point, 40 point games for us to even be in the games. Like, and that only happened when Tatum was shooting bad or Brown was shooting bad, and they were turning the ball over 20 times a game. So the only reason why we were even in the series last year is because they were beating themselves, in my opinion. Um,
they were a
that's all.
big turnover team. They're
Yeah,
just
they
turning the ball over
even the
so
game
much.
tonight, they turned the ball over 20 times. They turned it over. We did 16. They turned it over 20. So and it came down to a 4 point game. So that makes or breaks the game right there. Um, Anthony Davis. We talk about the Lakers next. Jesus, do you have anything to add? I know you watched the game a little
What
bit. Did
I
you see
mean,
anything?
yeah, maybe what I have to say is that I've seen a couple of the Heat games since the championship started, and I have to say this is the first game that I see that maybe their defense it was like on point. Maybe between the third and the fourth quarter, like the way how they were taking the ball and they were still on the ball, it was just maybe that's what little like maybe that's what really gave them the victory because I mean they were literally losing by like 10 points
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
whole like second quarter and the beginning of
yeah,
the third quarter. And them being able to take the ball very consistently back to back and being able to score also I think that's really what gave him the victory. But I have to say that out of all the Heat games that I've seen so far, this is the one that it has had me maybe the most. Mm, how can I say it?
defensive
Interested about
impact.
the
Oh,
result because I mean yeah, it was a very good game. It was a very good game, and I gotta give it. I'm always talking shit about the Heat because I like to get on Tyler's nerves.
they all
Because I
do.
mean,
Don't worry. They all
it's.
do. They
Yeah, I
all
know
do.
I
I
like
mean,
you. I
because I
know I
mean,
like you.
I mean, even he knows. Even he knows. I think that I'm not an expert, but I can. I'm not an expert, but I can tell that the Heat during the season they haven't been playing that well. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, you're
maybe
100
they've
percent right.
they've played. maybe they have played maybe like 15 games, and out of the 15 they have won maybe like 6 or 7. So I don't know if that's good or bad in the basketball field, but
Yeah.
to me that's pretty average. To me that's pretty like they're doing all right. They're not doing their best. But tonight they came out of the shell and they did their best, and they saw the results. They won.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean you hit it
About
you hit the
time.
nail on the head right there with average. We have been average. Something I don't want to be in the NBA when you have the Boston Celtics and the fucking Bucks in our conference. You don't want to be average. You have to be better than those teams to get out of the East. Um, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the Lakers. So, uh, I will say I'm gonna speak first here about the Lakers because I think I was the biggest critic about Anthony Davis going into the season. Um, I said that the man can't stay healthy, which I feel like a lot of the NBA fan base does say. The man can't. The man is a piece of glass. He falls on the ground, he's out the rest of the game, and a week after that. He's proving me wrong right now, which I love. I love when a player is proving me wrong. When I say some outrageous shit and I come out here and talk out of my ass and say this guy sucks, and then they go on a 6 or 7 game streak of proving me wrong. I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong. I will. Um, and yeah, he finished with what 44 tonight, I believe 44,
Yeah.
or was it? Yeah,
44-10.
yeah. He
On like,
finished with 44 and 10 against Giannis, who's arguably the other best power forward in the league right
didn't he shoot like
now.
18 of 27 too? He shot pretty efficient. 2 of
He
3
shot
from
18
three.
to 27. He gave you 44, 10, and 4 in 40 minutes. So he played, they didn't go to overtime. So he played 40 of the 48 minutes in the game. Um, and, coming against the Bucks, who are the second best team in the league, probably, they came out with the win. So, do you guys have anything to say about Anthony Davis's performance tonight?
Well, in the last 9 games, the Lakers have gone 7-2, and
Have they really? They went 7-2?
last 9 games, and Anthony Davis averaging 32 points, 15 rebounds, shooting 61% from the field. That's incredibly hard, and 85% from the free throw line. No, this man is definitely making a case that everybody was wrong. I do not like the Lakers at all. I'm just sick and tired of hearing about the Lakers, especially last season because they were so bad. But Anthony Davis is definitely playing at an elite level, and a lot of people were saying he was washed, that he was just a one-hit wonder. You know,
Raise my
and
Tyler,
hand.
raise your hand.
That was me.
that
He's raising his hand.
if the Lakers are gonna be successful, he has to be the guy. LeBron is at the age that
100%.
he's
This man's
still
spitting facts, bro. He's spitting facts. He's talking facts
he's
right now.
he's still LeBron. Of course, LeBron's LeBron. But AD has to be that guy. Like it's that time. So
They only
he
go as far as he takes them.
and when they won the championship in the bubble, AD was playing out of his mind.
Dude,
Yeah.
against us in the
He was
finals.
hitting. He was hitting some ridiculous shots, man. Some jumpers, some threes.
I remember when he hit the game winner against the Nuggets,
Yep.
and
Which let's talk about the Mitchell versus Murray Nuggets series in
Jazz
the
series.
bubble. That was wild,
Dude, that
bro.
was
They were
wild, bro. They were both
that
averaging like 35.
they were both absolutely just going off. That was wild.
Dude.
that felt like a rivalry. They
Yeah.
both
Like
of
they
them
went at
grew up
they were
playing
going at
against.
each other's throats. That was wild. It was crazy to see, man. It was a weird time for the country and the world with COVID, and like having the NBA like playoffs during like the middle of the summer was a cool like thing. Obviously, it wasn't because of the best circumstances, but it was a cool thing to be able to watch, man. It was like one of the first big like sporting things back, and just being able to watch, like, it was weird. They did their best. There was no fans. It was weird, but and a lot of people say that, I'm a hater. I say that the Heat only performed well because of the bubble, because there was no people there. But at the same time, a championship is a championship, and they won a championship. So even if the AD
Lakers.
Lakers experiment doesn't, put out another championship, I think that a team will take that move and win one championship every time. I'm a big believer in doing what you can to win a championship. Very much like the Rams, for football.
I mean, you saw with the Raptors, they made the franchise
Yeah,
move to
exactly.
trade DeMar
Yep.
DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. He left after they won the championship, but they still won the
Yep.
championship.
Yep.
So I think any team, all 30 teams in the league, if you were guaranteed a championship, even if that star player was to leave the next year, I'm making that trade every time.
Yeah, 100%.
It brings in the excitement of the fans, and then you guys can suck ass for the next 20 years. It's fine. You still won that championship. So
Yep.
some teams don't have championships, so it's better than no
Exactly.
points, at least.
I don't really feel the same way, just because I've seen my team win so many times. But
anyway, bro,
I would do that for the Niners. If I can see the Niners win one time my whole life, then okay, I agree in football. But basketball, I mean, seen them win 4 times. So,
Derek, let me ask you a serious question based on your Warriors here. Okay, looking at how the team is looking for the future, because they won a championship last year, so they're still amazing. But the end of the road for the big three is on the horizon. I'm not saying it's close. I'm just saying, it is inevitably going to be here, sooner rather than later. So, do you think that using the pick to get Wiseman was the smart move, or would you have rather seen them trade for another piece?
I mean, I can't say it wasn't a good move, because that's literally what we need. We need a center. And I know Wiseman has been incredibly bad. First, he's been hurt. He barely played in college. And
Yeah, I
then
think he played like 3
injured.
games.
Yeah, and then he lost his eligibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been hurt this whole time. Yeah, it's inevitable that the road is coming. I mean, I wish, if there was one person that I really wanted to draft, I wanted Ant. That's the one dude that I wanted us to draft, but of course it didn't fall to us.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we should have picked LaMelo. I feel like we're good on the backcourt. I mean, it's just developing our young guys, which is
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
the biggest
sorry.
thing. I think this is Draymond's last year. I don't think he's
Yeah,
coming back.
I can see that.
So
I think the development of Poole has definitely rightened the ship a little bit. But I mean Moody's shown flashes of being good. He's super athletic. But I just think, I don't know, man. It's such a 3-point league now. Like, you need to have consistent 3-point shooters, and I mean Poole can do that. He's shown that, but I don't know who the other person is. I don't know if you guys have that person right now.
yeah, I was really disappointed that we didn't bring back Gary Payne. I was really disappointed we didn't bring back Otto Porter, because during not only the finals but the whole playoffs, like when we actually like needed like a bucket, it felt like Otto Porter was like automatic,
Yeah,
So
agreed.
I know, I mean, even though Steph is still playing out of his mind, I know Clay's time is ending, Draymond's time is ending, so I'm excited to see us. I honestly, I want us to like struggle after they're done, just because I want to be able to like see them grow again, hopefully to build another championship. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm a little iffy on Wiseman.
Yeah.
I haven't given up on him yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give up on a player when you haven't really seen a whole lot of him, and you used such a high draft pick on him. I feel you, bro. I'm the same way with half my team. Being a Magic fan, we wasted a top 10 pick on Mo Bamba, top 10 pick on Jonathan Isaac. It sucks, man. It sucks, and missing on those picks set you back years, man. Having the number 1 pick this year, we were fortunate enough. I didn't know who we were going to get. I kind of wanted Jabari, but I also, from day one, kind of said Paulo was the guy. I was on him pretty early, and he's turned out to be what he was advertised to be. He's really
Second
he's
best
really
player.
fucking good, man. The second best player. I mean, if we want to get into the fucking rookie of the year, we can. I know that
Hold
was
on,
one of the topics.
but that is one of the topics. But before we get into that, I'm gonna ask you two, who for your respective teams, who is one person that you would want to add to the team? So like, I'm asking like, what position do you need is to that your team needs to pick up to make you guys better to put you over the hump, or and Andrew, get you guys into the playoff hunt, or just one piece you want them to add.
All right, so you can go first.
Definitely a center or a good backup like shooting guard. We need like a pure scorer that's not a Jordan Poole because like when we run the second unit, it's like the whole offense is just Jordan Poole. And it's like he's kind of stalling because he has to dribble the whole shot clock, and it's not like a fluent offense. Like if we can have like a veteran scorer like come off the bench, I think would be solid. And Kevon Looney's good, but he's not gonna get any better. I feel like Kevon Looney,
Yeah.
like you already know what you're gonna get with Kevon Looney. I feel like the Heat. I feel like the Heat in 2011 to 2014. If we get a
Yep.
center, I
Joel
feel like
Anthony, and
Birdman, yeah, Chris
Birdman. Yep.
Anderson.
Yep.
I feel like if we get a center, like it's over for the league.
Who would you guys want though? That's the thing. It's like what player? What like is you're not like you're not looking for a back to the basket center, are you? Or are you looking for someone who can
Well,
stretch the floor?
no, someone like at least like a deep mid range. I know that's not
Like a
really part of the
Vooch?
game. I feel like Vooch or like a Miles Turner.
Okay.
Sure.
So so
I
someone
feel
who
like
can score from the outside. I got you.
yes, and can play actual defense because that's one of Wiseman's biggest issues. Like he cannot guard the pick and roll. You put this man on a pick and roll, and he's gonna foul out. Like
Yeah.
I will
you
say
know,
that I've seen some highlights of Wiseman, and a lot of the Warriors fan base I know is not happy with the way he plays, and a lot of it is, in my opinion, is that he doesn't hustle. There was a lot of plays where I was seeing that he had like a 6'2", 6'3" guard behind him, but he was boxing out, and the guard was coming out with the rebound. And that's not something that should be happening when Wiseman is seven. He's 7 foot with a fucking 7 inch, 7 foot wingspan. I mean, 7 foot, 7 foot wingspan. Like you should not be getting out rebounded by a guard. And those are simple things that are just hustle. And it's not even a lack of skill or anything. He just he was a number 2 pick, right? Number 2
Number
pick,
3.
number
number
3.
three.
Yeah, being a number 3 pick, he's got to be out there hustling. He has a lot to prove. He can't just be out here and say, "Oh, I'm a top 3 pick. I don't have anything to prove."
Well,
He's
He,
got
he
to.
was number two. He was number two.
I thought he was
He
number 2.
I agree with you for like, him having to hustle, but your reasoning and my reasoning are backwards. I think he feels entitled because he was such a high pick,
That's what I was saying.
but I think that he needs to come in and realize that he's joining a championship dynasty. And because you're the third pick in the league doesn't mean that you're going to earn anything minutes wise, rotation wise. You have Draymond Green on the team. Draymond Green doesn't fuck with that. Steph doesn't fuck with that. They're too um focused and know how to win clearly, that they're not going to put up with that. So I think that's where it really comes with.
Well,
I
I
agree.
thought the biggest thing going into the season is that he probably thought, because he was out last year and he played the beginning and then he got hurt, that he was just going to come in, he was going to start, he was going to get the minutes.
Yeah.
But I think that now that he got sent down to the G League after playing, pretty bad stretch of games, that he's probably realized by now that he has to earn minutes in the game. He's not just
Yeah.
going to get thrown out there. He's playing, like you said, for a championship team who they're a dynasty. They went 2 years, 3 years of not winning, but they can flip it just like that. We know they are capable of doing that. So
And I feel like that's also the same problem with Jonathan Kaminga, because Kaminga has been shown that he has attitude problems. That's why he's been in and out of the rotation. I guess he's not really happy with this playing time or anything, but I feel like they just have to understand that it's bigger picture, man. We're trying to win rings out here. Like the time gonna come, but you just got to
no,
be patient. I
And
feel
the,
like
and
we
the sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the thing that sucks is because Steph and his group bought into that. That's I feel like that's what they bought into that. Like mentality, and it sucks because you had two back. Like the fact that you guys were still a solid team and like had those players and still got the third pick and then the seventh pick in the draft is like a huge move from the GM. So you guys got talented pieces to kind of replace Steph and Clay when they're done, and they're just not buying into it. They have to realize that sitting on the bench for 2 or 3 years and learning from some of the best players of the decade, will teach you a lot more than like you don't know anything when you come into the league. You know how to play basketball, but you don't know the work and all that. Like I don't know. It sucks to see that.
I feel like when you buy, but when you come into a team that's like a championship team and like you buying off rip, like then when that time passes, like you're already set because you know what it takes to win. So,
Exactly.
but I get it. People want to earn their money. That's what's most important to them. So they feel like
Yeah.
they need to play recognition and all that. So I understand at to both points, but as a fan, I need I need you to to win.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Andrew, yeah, Maria has a good point. You have to. We're going up to you next. Who do you think the Magic need to pick up? What do you want to see from anyone on your team? Do you want a player gone? I forgot to ask Caesar this. Did you want anyone gone that you think if you get rid of in a package to bring someone else in? Like, just any moves your team wants to make that you want them to make?
Get your Michael Green out of here. That's it.
Yeah, Michael Green, isn't he? This is his first season with you guys, right?
And it's his last. You gotta go.
His last, bro.
Dude.
That's hilarious. All right. So for me, my situation is obviously a lot more drastic and different than Caesar's because my team hasn't won a championship ever. So, and we're in the middle of our 10th year of a rebuild, which is annoying. 11th year of a rebuild, technically. So, I think we have a solid foundation to build around. But my problem with the team so far this year is not they don't know how to win. They don't know how to win basketball games. They don't know how to win those close games. They play hard the whole game. They won't get blown out. They'll lose by 8, you know, 5, keep it close or whatever. They'll be getting killed and then they'll come back. But I think we need a solid either 4 or a solid point guard to like run the team because I think we have Paulo. Franz is amazing off the cuts. We have the talent. Wendell Carter Jr. when he's healthy. I'm dead.
Sorry.
No, I was reading the chat. That's funny.
Yeah, me too.
But what was I saying? So yeah, so I think that we probably need a 4 or a point guard. I don't
So
I don't think we should have Mo Bamba. Okay, the thing is we have 5 guards and all of them we have 6 guards technically and all of them like no one's like showing out. Fultz has been hurt, Cole's been hurt, Suggs has been hurt. So it's just annoying because we don't really know like if any of them are going to be the person. And then RJ Hampton's getting no PT, and I really believe in RJ Hampton, but he's not getting any playing time. So I think his time is limited. So I think honestly, our projection is to get that Scoot dude from the number 2 overall draft pick behind Victor in the next draft, and he's a point guard. He's an offensive point guard. So that'd be interesting to see. But if we do that, that means we're moving off of Cole most likely and Fultz most likely.
so do you feel like you guys need a veteran on the team?
Dude, honestly, I think we're like a couple pieces away from needing like a solid veteran. I mean, we have Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross is kind of the veteran on the team. I mean, he's not like, by any means like I don't. He might make the Hall of Fame. I doubt it, but like he's not a Hall of Fame veteran, but he is a solid veteran. But like I just think we're like two or three ones. I think we're one superstar and like two solid pieces away from being in contention for real for a playoff spot. I mean, I don't think anybody's winning the championship in the next like 5 years in the East besides the Bucks and the Celtics.
What do you,
Wait,
Tyler?
so
Tyler,
so
Tyler, what do you have that reaction?
I mean, that's a pretty.
Because Tyler's uh, whole like thought process, and it's paid out in the past, but his whole thought process is that Pat Riley will make a move to fix whatever issues during the season, and then some free agent will sign in the off season to make his team better. So he's banking on that.
No, first, I mean
Yes.
that's accurate in terms of my viewpoint towards the Heat, but
Yeah.
I don't agree that the only championship teams in the East are the Bucks and the Celtics. I think maybe this season it might be the Bucks or the Celtics, but I think that the Cavaliers are right there, and in probably the next year or two, you get Garland maybe one or two. Garland's already an All Star, as he was last year. Was the second season or third?
he was
Garland.
no, I think it was his second season.
Yeah, so he's in his third season now. He's gonna keep getting better. Donovan Mitchell's Donovan Mitchell. He's gonna give you what he gives you, and they have a solid team around them. I think they're a piece away from a championship.
I
If
think they got all the pieces.
yeah, you can make that debate. I think they at most one piece. I could see them coming out of the East this year too. It all depends. It
Well, that's
depends.
the thing.
They're not really experienced aside of Mitchell. That's the thing. They're not
Exactly,
experienced.
exactly. So who's that leader? Is Mitchell ready to be that guy?
Well, you
Kevin
saw him in the
Love.
West, bro. He was battling out there in the West. He was on a
Right.
sorry Utah team that he was
Yeah.
winning them 50 games a season with a center who gets outplayed and can't even be
Dude.
on the court in the playoffs.
We got to talk
So-
about that trade.
Yeah, we will talk about that trade. So now you're bringing him over to the East where the competition, I mean, the East is getting better. I'm not going to say the East is weak.
Yeah.
The East is a lot better than it used to be. But the West is a different beast. The Western Conference is a different beast. You have teams in there, 6 or 7 teams are winning 50 games. You get like maybe 4 teams in the East that win 50 games, and then the rest are floating around the 46, 47 range.
And then floating around like the 12, 13 range.
Yeah, that's floating around the 12 to 15, dude.
I actually think that the East is better than the West this year.
Yeah, you can make the argument. It's the first quarter of the season, but well, my whole point is that the East is getting better than it used to be, which was for a long time it was West just killing the East every single season.
Definitely.
So the East is definitely getting up there. Jesus, you want to add anything to this? This is kind of
No, not really, because this is
the learning factor. This is why
this is
I wanted to.
this is a uncharted territory, because I don't know that many basketball players. Of course, I mean everybody knows the usual,
Yeah.
but the usual names, but I don't know anybody who you guys have named so far, and but that's what this is about, right?
Listen, yeah, there's the
learn,
whole idea.
learn a little bit more about basketball. And to be honest to you, I think the last couple months, it's funny because I was telling Tyler, I think I told this to him yesterday, but also today. I've been learning more about basketball
Uh-huh.
to some Bad Bunny lyrics than from him. But
That's
'cause
hilarious.
this guy, 'cause
Didn't tell
this
me that
guy,
yesterday.
because this guy on his lyrics, he keeps naming basketball players. Like in the most recent song that he dropped, he named Luca, because he says Luca step back, and then he says La Jumpa. So I had to research, like, to know what the fuck that was. So I learned who Luca was, and that his most um um the move that he uses the most is step back.
The
He
step
takes the
back,
ball.
yeah.
Yeah, he takes the ball, he does the step back, and then
The
he
Lucas
shoots.
step back, man.
Yeah, so then
man.
I had to tell Tyler, I mean, who's this fucker? And it's funny because then I think it was yesterday. Yesterday he played. I mean, his team played
Yeah, yeah,
with another
yeah,
team, and they lost. They ended
yeah,
up losing, but he was hooping. He was
yeah.
hooping. He was doing his shit. He was shooting the ball and doing the step backs.
He also in that song he mentioned Damian Lillard too, and Jesus didn't know who Damian Lillard was, so I showed him the most iconic Damian Lillard play of his career, the 3-1 bye buzzer beater at the end of the game. That he said something about a Damian Lillard buzzer beater or
Yeah,
something, which I
yeah.
already knew what he
Yeah.
was referring to. So I showed him the clip. He saw who Damian Lillard is. So little by little, he's learning. He knows
Who
more than he did this time fucking last year. I already know that for a fact.
Pretty
And
much, pretty
this
much.
is part
Now,
of it.
I do have
who's
a
the
question.
artist?
Huh?
Who's the artist?
Bad Bunny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now,
Benito.
I
Benito.
Yeah,
now I do
Benito.
have a
Yeah.
question. I do have a question. I saw this tonight doing the referees and the coaches. They were doing this movement, and I was telling Tyler on the phone, Tyler, what the fuck does that mean? Of course, he didn't. He didn't understood what I was saying because he didn't see me doing it. But they were doing like this.
Oh,
Travel.
that's
Oh, for
travel.
What the
travel.
fuck?
Travel.
I was like, what the fuck does that
Yeah.
mean?
Dude, he didn't tell
And
me that. He
what?
said they
What
were
does that mean?
crossing their arms. So I was envisioning in my
It means
mind that
I was
was
like,
travel.
doing.
dude,
It's like,
they're like spinning,
dude,
their arms around, like doing this shit. What the fuck does that mean?
dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it means
travel.
travel.
They've been calling that the thing about the NBA is they don't usually call those that much, and I don't know what the hell they're doing this year because going into this season they're calling carries every single time they do it. They're calling travels like they're actually calling the game how it should be called. I mean, I
Yep.
agree. If you're traveling and carrying, you need to be called on it. The whole league does. Don't do it where one team's getting called and the other team's not. That's when fans get mad. If you're gonna call it against the Heat, call it against whoever the Heat are playing. That way, it's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a problem with them like calling that stuff. I don't, at least, in my opinion.
No, I
Agree.
think it's good. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so another topic is rookie of the year. Like I said, it's 22 games into the season. It's very early, but I think it's a two-man race right now. I think it's a
Oh, for
two-man race.
sure.
Two-man race. I don't think anyone else is in this discussion. Who's the third best rookie? Jabari Smith. I don't even know who.
No, I
Maybe
think
Jaden Ivey.
yeah, it's probably Ivy.
Jaden Ivey. Yeah. I see. Speaking of Jaden Ivey, I see a lot of John Morant in him. A lot of John Morant. I
Yep,
was watching that
athletic.
game yesterday. This is the first time I watched the Pistons this season, so I haven't watched him that much. He moves and plays just like John Morant does.
Yeah,
He's like the same frame. He does the same moves. He just has the same flow as John Morant does,
yeah, he's
which is
springy.
actually fire to see.
He's springy for sure.
Yeah. So the rookie of the year
Benedict.
race is what were you saying, Caesar?
I was just saying Benedict Martin.
Benedict. That's your pick so far?
Oh, sticking by him. I picked him up on fantasy this year.
Oh man.
Dude, he
All
said
right,
he said it,
so
he said he was better than LeBron. I gotta believe the man.
dude, he did say that. He said LeBron had to beat him for him to say that he's better than him or some shit like that.
Dude,
Yeah. So the race
absolutely
is
wild, bro. Like, come on, bro. Wild.
that's how you get your name in discussions, bro. LeBron knew his name instantly as soon as he said that shit.
Dude, and then LeBron fucking didn't he like destroy him? No, I mean they lost the game, but I'm pretty sure he fucking hooped.
No. I think he outplayed him.
No shot, he outplayed him.
All right, so I'm gonna name the two rookies right now. Benedict Mathurin and the other one is Paulo Banchero. Those are the two, in my opinion, that are in the race for rookie of the year. Paulo's averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's shooting 47% from the field. Benedict is averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and he's shooting 43% from the field.
Now when you talk about rookie of the year, you mean like players who are just like starting right now
Yeah,
on the
so
league?
rookie of the year, when you get drafted, your first season is your rookie season. So anyone whose first season is this year, they have a chance to win rookie of the year. Usually in the past, the people who win the rookie of the year are the people who are the top picks, like around there. The top 3 picks are usually the favors to win rookie of the year. Every once in a while, you'll get someone around 7, 8, maybe like 11. It rarely happens, but you'll get someone around that area who is competing for rookie of the year. But usually, it's the top 3 picks that win. And then Paulo, who I named, he was the number 1 pick. He's the guy the Magic drafted. Right now, the Pacers have a better record. So if they base it off rookie of the year to the record wise, which I don't agree with, I don't think that record matters because if you're a rookie, usually you're getting drafted to a pretty bad team. The first usually unless you make a trade like with another team and you end up getting the pick, the team that is pretty bad that has the first pick. But right now the Pacers are 12-9, the Orlando Magic are 5-18. So there's a big difference. Benedict is leading to winning basketball, and Paulo's not. But it has nothing to take from Paulo because he's also hurt, so they missed a decent amount of games. And the Magic team entirely is dealing with a lot of injuries too. So it's different circumstances. Based off the play, in my opinion, I think Paulo right now is favored to win Rookie of the Year. Caesar, what's your opinion?
So I don't really like. We see the numbers, and obviously you're gonna think that Paulo is the better player. But I just want to add to the fact that Benedict does not start and plays way less minutes than Paulo. So I feel like his averaging 19 points per game, off the bench. If I'm not mistaken, like Tyler Hero won Sixth Man of the Year, averaging 20 points a game. So you coming in as a rookie, you off the bench and you dropping 20 points a game, and your team is winning, and like your team is supposed to suck. Yeah, y'all got rid of your two best players, the Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon. I know he's not as efficient, but Paulo does play a lot more back to the basket. He's a bigger guy, but I think it's closer than people might think. I think Benedict is definitely leading because he hasn't missed any games. So Paulo has missed the most games. So of course his stats are a little bit more inflated because he's played less. Not saying that Paulo's not a dog, because that man he's showing superstar potential.
Yeah.
But I'm letting you know that Benedict, he was in the top top 5 pick, if I'm not mistaken.
He's number 6.
Yeah, he was number
Close
6.
enough. Yep.
So I'm just saying, don't sleep on him.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm not sleeping on him for sure.
I'm not either. I mean,
But
if you come out averaging 19 points, you can't get slept on. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, 100%. But I think that it's so hard to overtake the number 1 overall pick for Rookie of the Year if the number 1 overall pick is playing well. If that makes sense.
No, that makes
You just get like so much more boost because you're the number 1 overall pick. There's hype around you. People are talking about you. Yeah. So I think it's. I mean, unless Paulo. I mean, if Paulo gets hurt again and misses, if he misses, 30 games this year, then I don't think he wins. I don't think he overcomes that. But if he stays healthy, continues to do what he's doing, I think he's got it. I mean, Anthony Simons is averaging 23.8 points a game. That's wild. I know that's a side discussion. Sorry.
No, that's fine. There's nothing. Like I said, when we went into this podcast, just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. There's no podcast, in my opinion. You should just it just free ball it, and then you get to the better debates. You get good deep discussions, and there's nothing wrong with that.
In my head, I was like, wait a minute, he's a rookie?
No. He is nasty. Anthony Simons is the man, dude.
Isn't he from Orlando?
Yeah, I think he went to TFA, or not TFA, the other one.
Really? Damn.
Mount Verde?
Yeah.
Which one?
Mount Verde.
That's where D'Lo and Ben Simmons went.
Yeah.
Those dudes recruit people from like different countries.
Oh no, sorry. He went to IMG. He went to
IMG?
Edgewater.
Okay.
All right, let's do 3 teams surprised. Andrew, who are your 3 most surprised teams so far?
Okay, I think that everybody's like first surprise team, in my opinion, is Utah. I think that they're outperforming expectations already. Um, they're 13-11, but everybody thought that they would be pretty bad. They traded their two best players and got a bunch of, in my opinion, a bunch of mid-tier players and a bunch of draft picks. And Laurie Marketing has been playing very well. Uh, you know, Colin Sexton's been playing pretty good. So I just think that they're my first surprise team. And then my second surprise team is going to be Sacramento. Sacramento seems to kind of have found a groove, and they're finally kind of putting things together. De'Aaron Fox has been playing out of his mind. Um, Kevin Herter's also been playing very well. So I think they're my number 2 surprise team. And then my number 3 surprising team, honestly, it might be OKC, to be honest. Now, OKC only has 9 wins, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been playing, you know, all-star level for sure, possibly all NBA level basketball. Their team is pretty bad. They got the second pick, and it was Chet, and he got hurt, so he's out for the year. So we know that. But I think those are my 3 surprising teams that are kind of overperforming and outperforming expectations so far.
Okay, and who are your 3 disappointed teams?
The Mavs. The Mavs have been playing some disappointing basketball so far. I think. I think the Nets have been playing kind of disappointing basketball, even though they have 13 wins. I don't know. They're kind of a weird team. They've been playing some disappointing basketball, and
It's a tough one.
yeah, I'd probably say Golden State, but Golden State's kind of turned it around lately. They started off pretty bad. They lost a solid amount of games. They're definitely playing better now, but definitely, winning the championship last year and then starting the season 11-11 is probably not like what was expected of them. Not saying that they're going to be bad or not turn it around. There's definitely plenty of time, but I think that those 3 were the most disappointing so far.
Okay, how about you, Caesar?
I'm gonna agree with Andrew with a couple teams like the Kings and the Jazz. Um, first of all, it's Sacramento. Like nobody expects Sacramento to do good ever. Like I don't think they've made the playoffs ever since they played the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. It's like they have the longest streak of not making the playoffs in the NBA. But let's see if they can continue. I don't expect this to continue, but I know that De'Aaron Fox is having an incredible year. They also got Sabonis playing really well. Keegan Murray, still like waiting to see his potential. I would say the Jazz, of course, because they traded the 2 best players and Laurie Marketing, who has been known as kind of like a bust, ever since he left. I know he got drafted, if I'm not mistaken, to Chicago, and he was really good in Chicago. And then after that, he like pretty much went downhill. But for my like most surprising team, I would say the Pacers. Like your best player is Halliburton, and then but you got Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. Like those are decent names, but that's not a 4th seed in the East.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's definitely surprising. They got the rookie of the year in the team too, so can't be can't be too mad at that. Disappointed teams. I would say us. I'm not gonna lie. I've been so disappointed us this season, especially because we were so good at defense last year. And we started the year off 0-7 on the road. Like, there's no way that we should be 0-7 on the road just coming off of a championship. I know, we've had a lot of drama with Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole. He's been a disappointment this year. He just got paid, and I think he should be playing way more better than he has. But definitely got time. I think the Heat are also a disappointing team. No offense, Tyler, but y'all just went to the
Oh, don't
Eastern.
worry, they're on my list too, buddy. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
y'all in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like we keep talking about Bam Adebayo. When is he gonna take that leap? When you gonna take that extra step? Jimmy getting a little bit old. I don't know how long he got on his contract. I'm pretty sure it's not that much. He doesn't have that much time left on his contract. So it's time that Bam Adebayo gotta be that guy. The first couple games he played very, very soft. Like, you out here, you want to shoot, fine, but back up to the basket. Like you're supposed to have a physical presence. I think you guys have to make a move. I think Duncan Robinson got to go.
Amen.
Um, he's not playing no defense, and
Amen.
he's a
Amen.
great shooter, but you got to make the shots, man.
Yeah.
The title of the great shooter got to stick, And then I would definitely say like the Lakers. I don't care. Like what, like who you got on the team. Like, you got LeBron, you got AD. There's no way you're missing. You should be missing, like, on track to miss the playoffs. That should not happen. And you got Russell Westbrook on the team. I like it. That's at the end of the day, there's gonna be disappointment regardless. But I would say those are my top three most surprising and top three most disappointing teams.
Okay, I'm gonna start with disappointing teams first, and then I'll go to my most surprised teams. My first disappointed team so far is the Chicago Bulls. I think they had, what were they last year? They were like the fourth seed, I believe, fourth or fifth. They played the Bucks, I think, in the first round. They lost. Um, DeMar was having the best season of his career. Zach LaVine was giving you what Zach LaVine gives you, and then they were dealing with the Lonzo Ball injury, and that was going on for half of last season. And by the time this season started, they thought they were going to have Lonzo Ball back, and then a report comes out that he's nowhere near ready to go for this season. So they're going into this season without Lonzo Ball again, who is an elite defender. He's an elite perimeter defender, very good playmaker, and he's a very good piece to have for that team.
Not to interrupt you, they just said that he's like not anywhere near ready, right? Like a day or two ago.
Well, I didn't hear that, but I heard that like a
Yeah.
month ago. So I
No,
knew that he's not anywhere near ready.
I think they like just came out and said that like super recently too.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I
So
saw what they.
he's not coming back till at least the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Sad.
And I saw what they did because they were smart. They knew Lonzo wasn't going to be there, so they picked up Goran Dragic, who's he's a solid veteran point guard to have on your team. He's not supposed to, at this point in his career, he's not supposed to be your starter, but he's someone that you could start um, until Lonzo Ball comes back. Scrap the team, better tank. What team are you talking about, Malik? Um, yeah, so I think Chicago's pretty disappointing. They have Drummond. Drummond was playing solid for them the first couple games, but I think Zach LaVine needs to try to stay healthy, which has always been his biggest issue in his career. And then DeMar needs to try to get back to that level that he was playing last season. That's my first surprise team. Disappointed team. My second disappointed team is the same team Caesar said, the Miami Heat. My whole issue with the Miami Heat going into the season is that you were 4 points away from going to the finals last year, and you made absolutely no moves to improve your team. You cannot run it back. We this isn't the same Miami Heat team fucking from 2012, 2013, where you had LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade on your team, where you had the talent to get you to the finals. You have a solid team, you have solid players, but you can't keep running stuff back. That doesn't work anymore in this day and age.
Yeah.
When I saw the Boston Celtics got Brogdon for what they got Brogdon for, and they didn't trade Jaylen Brown, they didn't trade Jason Tatum, and they kept Marcus Smart. That I'm sitting there as a Heat fan, the team that just lost to them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we literally lost PJ Tucker for nothing. We didn't gain anyone back. We let him go in free agency. We drafted Nikola Jovic, who is a 19-year-old. He looks like he has potential, but he's getting no minutes for some reason. And we're playing Caleb Martin, who's a 6'5" guard at the power forward. A team we're already undersized at because our center is fucking 6'10". So I think since 2020 when we played the Lakers in the bubble and they had Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis going against us, and then last year we had Al Horford and Robert Williams, two big men. That it's not going to work. It can only beat so many teams, but going to get you to the finals, and in the finals, you need a good tall power forward and a good tall center. You need that. Um, Tyler Hero going to he's playing up so far. I think he's playing up to his contract. He did get paid a decent amount, but looking at what RJ Barrett got paid, looking at Jordan Poole got paid, they all are in the same discussion. They're all around the same age. They're always throwing out the fucking who are you gonna take, Hero, RJ, or Poole. That's the three. Yeah, yeah. One has a ring, the rest of them don't. I know that. Um, but they're always throwing out who of those three you're going to pick. I think Hero so far is playing the best, but Hero's also missed games, so that's why his average is it goes up and down faster. And if he plays good, it's going to go up more because he's missed a game. Um, so I'm very happy with the way Bam's playing the last 10 games. He's putting up. He had 28 tonight, 27 points against the Celtics. We just beat them, so that's a good performance. Jimmy gives you what Jimmy gives you. I just think we need to make a move for a starting power forward, and we need to make another move for a shot creator off the bench. And I don't want that to be Oladipo because he's going to come back. God knows when he'll come back, but he's never going to be healthy. He's never healthy, and we can't rely on him so much to be that guy as just the acquisition because he's on the bench. Um, we need to get another shot creator, another power forward, and I would feel more comfortable. I want a Miles Turner, to be honest with you. Move Miles Turner to center, put Bam at the four. That would be my good front court in my opinion. Um, so that's my second team, the Miami Heat, and then my third team I would say is disappointing so far. I would probably say the Lakers. Um, they have Anthony Davis, they have LeBron James, obviously. Uh, the whole season last year was a complete disgrace by them. They were trolling Russell Westbrook. All LA hates Russell Westbrook going into the season. You have the trade reports from the middle of last year about them getting rid of Russell Westbrook. Everyone's expecting a Russell Westbrook trade, and then you don't trade Russell Westbrook. And I've seen some trades out there that they could have had Buddy Hield, they could have had Miles Turner, and all they had to do was give a pick, and they weren't willing to do that. They, in my opinion, messed up by not getting rid of Russell Westbrook. I think he's starting to play better off the bench now, so I think maybe he's boosting his value a little bit, which might help them in the long run. But I think if they get another Russell Westbrook trade package where they get a shooter back, and then maybe another big, they have the guards, in my opinion. They have Dennis Schroeder. He's a solid guard. They have Pat Beverly. That's another solid veteran guard. You already have LeBron and AD. You need to fill around him with shooters. The success, the way LeBron needs a team created is to have shooting around him. Um, and I think they need more shooters. So if you could package Russell Westbrook and get like they always say, Buddy Hield, or Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, and you get rid of Russell Westbrook and 2 first rounders, then do it. Then do it. Get rid of Russell Westbrook, get 2 first rounders out of there, get Buddy Hield, and get Miles Turner, and put a team around LeBron and AD where they can win a championship again because they're missing the role players, not the 2 stars.
Real quick, since you're on the topic on trading Russell Westbrook, I seen earlier on Twitter. I was looking, scrolling through Twitter, and I seen that there was reports of that the Lakers were trying to cook up a trade with Russell Westbrook and 2 first-round picks to the Bulls for DeMar DeRozan and Vooch
Yeah, I
and
saw that too.
Vucevic. So how would you see the trade fitting and working for both teams?
I don't think that trade would work. I think the Vooch aspect of that trade would work, but I don't think DeMar DeRozan fits with them because DeMar DeRozan is literally, in my opinion, him and Russell Westbrook. They're not, they don't have the same height, but I think that DeMar is another guy who needs the ball in his hands, um, to be effective. And DeMar DeRozan, statistically, he underperforms in the playoffs like Russell Westbrook does. So in my opinion, if I was the Lakers management, I would, like I said, try to package a trade around Russell Westbrook to get shooters that can perform in the playoffs. Um, I just don't. I think the fit would be too awkward with DeMar DeRozan, LeBron, and AD. LeBron needs the ball in his hands, and if LeBron doesn't have the ball in his hands, it's fine because he can do other stuff. But you have to guarantee me that DeMar DeRozan's playing how he did last year, and in the playoffs he didn't play good either. So,
But wouldn't you say that if he's playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis, so he doesn't have to carry that much of an offensive role, so he wouldn't have as much pressure, and I mean he might like perform good in case like Wiggins.
you can make that argument, but they said the same thing about Russell Westbrook when he got traded there. They wanted. I think they wanted LeBron not to. As the Lakers' mindset, I'm assuming, was they didn't want LeBron to have the ball in his hands every single play because he's getting older. They wanted another playmaking guy out there who could play make at a higher level. But you could see that with Russell Westbrook on the team, the fit was not good. The fit was never good with them three. They had to move. They had to move him to the bench, and now he's finally playing. He's not giving you what he used to give you, but he's playing a lot better that he's on the bench now. I just don't think the fit of DeMar DeRozan and LeBron it would ever work. I don't think it would.
Okay, I just want to add that Jordan Poole is going off, but
And how many points does he have?
Before we go to your most surprising teams, your boy Malik is going to be upset when he gets even more fleeced with the Vucevic trade, because the Magic already won that easily, and they
Malik,
still
he's
have.
not. Malik's a KD fan. He's a Nets fan.
He said Bulls.
No, he was talking about the Bulls. Oh, okay. No, I think you're
Yeah.
talking as if he was a Bulls fan.
Oh, I thought he was a Bulls fan. He's not a Bulls fan.
No, he's a
Okay.
Durant.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so we can still bring it up. The Magic fleeced the Bulls on that trade.
Oh, by far, yeah, by far.
Vucevic for Wendell Carter and 2 first-round picks, and one of them is already Franz, and then the other one is going to be hopefully a top 10.
Here's a hot take right here. The
Okay.
Magic also fleeced the Nuggets for Bol.
100%.
You traded
and
Aaron
RJ
Gordon.
Hampton.
We got
Yeah,
Aaron
you
Gordon,
traded
a
yeah.
pick, a first-round pick, and Bol and RJ Hampton.
Dude, I'm more excited with the way Bol's playing than I ever was when I saw Aaron Gordon in a Magic uniform.
Oh, 100%.
And I've seen him have some solid games against us. And I've seen him have like the 30-point games like once or twice against us. And I'm more excited with the potential of a 7'2" fucking guy who moves like a point guard.
Yeah.
So,
Bol's a freaking nature.
Yeah, I'm mad because we drafted him, but we drafted him with an agreement we were going to trade him, which sucks.
Yeah.
I was so happy for like a minute, and then that's how he got traded. I was so upset.
Boy.
Yeah, boy, dude. My 3 surprise teams, I would say number 1's the Cavs. I thought the Cavs were going to be good. I didn't think they were going to mesh this fast, and they had Darius Garland out for a significant part of the first part of the season so far.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, like I was saying earlier in the podcast, had that same issue to me that Jason Tatum had, where they give you what they give you, but they just need to up the efficiency. And I think Donovan Mitchell has upped the efficiency, and he's giving you 30 points a game. So he's doing it on all three levels.
He was killing it tonight. He didn't miss, man. He was playing the Magic for sure, but he was efficient. He was killing it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be an all-star so far into the season. And they have a solid team. They have Karis LeVert, they have Isaac Okoro, Darius Garland, they have Ricky Rubio, who's hurt, who they're going to bring off the bench whenever he comes back. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Who else do they have on their team? That's a solid lineup right there. Solid young lineup. And I would consider Donovan Mitchell to be a veteran. He has the playoff experience, and he doesn't have Rudy Gobert anymore, which apparently they didn't like each other. So now he has another center that can rim protect, but this guy doesn't get outplayed, and he doesn't get played into the bench in the playoffs. He can actually stay on the court. That's my first surprise, the Cavs. The Pacers are my second surprise. As Caesar said earlier, they traded their 2 best players, and no one expected them to be in the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. I don't think they're gonna sustain that. I think that they started off hot. I think as the season goes on, because of the lack of talent they have, that they're gonna eventually come back down to earth. Maybe they'll be like a 10th or 11th seed. They might be a play-in. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be a top 4 seed. And another surprise team, I would say it's not really a surprise team, but I'm going to put the Pelicans on here. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put the Suns. I'm putting the Suns because they had a lot of free agency rumors where DeAndre Ayton was going to leave that team, and going into the season, he did not look like he wanted anything to be a part of that team, and they got absolutely destroyed in the playoffs by Luka Doncic. It looked like going into the season that they were just done. They had no chemistry. It looked like they were going back to square one. Um, and they're 15-7. They're first in the West, like they've been the last 3 seasons. They've been first in the West. Um, Devin Booker had 51 points yesterday in fucking 3 quarters. Didn't play any minute of the fourth quarter. As an NBA fan, I get mad at that because I've seen him do that. I've seen Klay Thompson do that. Klay Thompson's had many 50-point games, I think. A couple of like 50-point games where they literally don't play him in the fourth quarter. Like, as NBA fans, we want to see people get 70 points. We want to see them get 75, 80 points, try to pass Kobe Bryant because he was the only one in recent years who dropped 8. He was 81. And Devin Booker was 70. He was the second closest that I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, but he dropped 70 in a loss, so
Dude, they got blown out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He dropped 70, and then he came and dropped 51. So he in a whole quarter he could have dropped. And then I'm pretty sure you told me he didn't even have a point in the first half of the first quarter.
No, yeah, he didn't make a shot until the first half or after halfway through the first quarter. So he really played 2.5 quarters.
Shot Brian's in here telling me to kill the cat, dude. Fuck you! I'm about to ban you. I'm not killing my cat.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I have to disagree with you. I don't think you should be surprised at Suns if they've been the top seed.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that too.
Well, I think that a playoff loss like they just had, and the fact that the chemistry was so bad with DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't going to be a good team, but I didn't think that they were going to come back and look like they did last year going into the regular season.
What up, Brian?
Like,
how much of that do you think is Monty Williams?
Well,
what's up, Brian?
I mean, Monty Williams is a good coach. He is a very good coach. Devin Booker's Devin Booker. But Ayton was my biggest question mark for them. He's always been the biggest question mark for them.
Yeah.
But like I said, the chemistry with their second best player coming back being a question mark, and the first interview they had, he literally was like giving them this like two worded answers. They were asking, "Are you happy to be back in Phoenix?" He's like, "What does it look like?" That was his answer.
Yeah.
Like he was saying shit like that. It makes you think, what is it? Where's this guy's mind? It took him so long to sign a contract because I thought they were working on a trade to get him to the Nets for Kevin Durant because that was the rumor around that time was that like a sign and trade. And he signed the contract with the Pacers. Like he didn't want to be there. He wanted to take the Pacers contract, and then they matched it.
Yeah.
So there was reasons for me to think that I didn't think they were going to be in the first seed. I still thought they would have been a good team if he came back, but
I see your point. I mean, I guess yeah. I forgot that he did one out, and they don't have Jay Crowder. He hasn't even came back.
Yeah, and I forgot. Yeah, even that Jay Crowder.
CP3's been hurt.
Yeah, Jay Crowder. You have the Jay Crowder question mark. A veteran off the who's a power forward, a leader.
Another player that he let go for nothing.
Dude.
But we're gonna
look. So far, the Heat letting go of PJ Tucker hasn't bit us in the ass yet because
he's been horrible.
He's been fucking terrible. Yeah.
Terrible. One thing I wanted to say was that the Pacers, they're giving me kind of like Clipper vibes. Like y'all remember the Clippers before when they still had Tobias Harris and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander when he was like a rookie, and they were like a top seed in the West like for the first part, and then they fell all the way down. That's probably what the Pacers are. I think that's what's gonna happen with the Pacers too. They start off hot and then eventually just fall off. This really what's happening to the Jazz right now too.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's the same thing with them. They started out like the best team in the West, and they're 3-7 over the last 10 games. So they're coming back down to reality. We're gonna wrap it up. Like I said, thank you guys for all coming out here listening to us. We'll have Andrew and Caesar back on here anytime. I'm gonna try to get Andrew and Caesar on here anytime we talk about basketball. We'll be talking about football. Like I said, I put a tweet out. We'll talk about football when the playoffs start. I'm gonna let them handle that one. I don't know anything about football, so I'll let Andrew in the top right and Caesar talk about that. We'll have Jack on here, also another one who wants to be on the podcast. But yeah, if you haven't followed the social medias, all the links are below on the Twitch and on our YouTube. Our links are on there. So you can go ahead and follow the Instagram, the TikTok, our Twitch, and Twitter. and the YouTube. We post clips, we post movie news, everything like that, and then we'll be having more live podcasts in the future, and just head-to-head podcasts. We'll be talking about sports, movies, stuff like that. So, anyone else have anything else to say?
Thank you for
Nope.
being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. This was great. I ain't gonna lie. This was so much fun. I'm
Dude,
down
yeah.
to this whenever.
Hell yeah, baby. That's what I like to hear.
So.
All right, thank you guys for coming out. You have a great rest of your day.